to you.
Podcasting to millions from WebmasterRadio.fm's world headquarters.
WebmasterRadio.fm proudly presents the longest-running program on affiliate marketing. Welcome to Affiliate Buzz. Our hosts, James and Arlene Martell, are here to inspire, inform, and motivate you with expert insight, interviews, and information that will increase your bottom line. Advance your affiliate marketing efforts every week on Affiliate Buzz. Now, please welcome James and Arlene.
Yes, it's James Martell here, and welcome to edition number 486 of the Affiliate Buzz, where we've been keeping affiliates inspired, informed, and motivated to succeed with affiliate programs since way back in 2003. If you're joining us live here today on WebmasterRadio.fm, it's great to have you with us. If you happen to be joining us, though, through a podcast on your smartphone, tablet, computer, or maybe your Wi-Fi radio, a very special welcome to you as well. Arlene is away today. However, not to worry. I am joined by Brian Messenlerner, co-founder of AppPresser.com, a WordPress-based framework for building iOS and Android apps, and I'm going to be discussing with Brian how to turn your WordPress website into a mobile app. And with more people now accessing the internet using mobile devices than computers, paying attention to what's available in the app space is time very well spent, I would say. Now, before Brian joins us, if you'd like to wake up in the morning to an email from your virtual assistant telling you your blog and social media have been updated, your next email newsletter is ready and scheduled to go out the door, your YouTube channel has grown by 38 new followers, and you have made 10 new sales overnight for a total commission of $235. If that sounds like a good start to your day, you need my brand new 3rd edition Outsourcing Essentials course, where I share with you the secrets to building your business by leveraging low-cost freelance talent to explode your profits. In the course, I share with you what I've learned over the last 15 years outsourcing over 1,600 projects through Elance and Upwork and working directly with over 500 freelancers. The 2-hour course is for a limited time, just $97. And if you haven't mastered the art of outsourcing, this course I can pretty much guarantee will change the way you do business online. To purchase or to learn more, you can send a quick email to helpdesk@jamesmartell.com and we'll get you out all the details. Now, Brian is a former software developer for the United States Marine Corps. He is the co-founder of WebDevStudios.com, a web development company that specializes in building all things WordPress. Brian Messenlerner is also the co-author of Building Web Apps with WordPress, a book published by O'Reilly Media about WordPress as an application framework. Brian enjoys learning about new technology and believes open source software like WordPress is the key to successful, cost-effective web solutions in any situation. Brian, welcome to the Affiliate Buzz.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
This is a very timely topic, I would say. Over the last 18 months, and you've obviously saw this coming a lot earlier than that, but it seems that mobile devices have now surpassed computers, and in some industries by a long way as far as people accessing the internet.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it has a lot to do with the kids.
Yeah, it sure does. I know. You bet. On a kind of a sidebar note, I'm running a paid ad campaign for a client of mine, and in his particular industry, we're up around 80% of the people accessing his website are on tablets. On smartphones. And I was stunned to see that. I knew it had surpassed 50%, but I didn't realize that it had surpassed it in some areas so much. So I think this is a great topic. So why don't we before we dig into AppPresser, though, you'd mentioned to me before we got on the show here that you're from New Jersey. Why don't you give us a little bit of your background and tell us who you are?
Sure. So my name is Brian Messenlerner. I grew up in New Jersey. I actually joined the Marine Corps on my 18th birthday. I was in Philadelphia at the MEPS getting my physical. I signed up to be a machine gunner in the Marine Corps, and I did really good on the ASVAB test. For those of you who know what that is, it's like the test they have to take to get into the military, and then they kind of decide what MOS or what job you're going to have based on that. I signed up to be a machine gunner, so I didn't really have to, get crazy high grades, but I did very good on the test. So they asked me if I wanted to do computer stuff, and at the time, I was 18. I didn't have any money. Didn't have the grades to get into college at the time, and I thought to myself, like, this would be a good opportunity for me to learn a good skill and get out and try to build a career on. So I jumped on the opportunity. They sent me out to after boot camp and everything. Every Marine is a basic rifleman, so I had to play in the woods and the mud and do all that stuff. But after that, when I got my MOS or my job training, they sent me out to 29 Palms, California, where they taught us the first programming language that I learned. It's called Ada. It's a machine learning language, and very hard to set up and do. It was amazing though, and I learned how to program missiles, program things. I really liked it a lot. We started getting into databases. They sent me to some advanced database courses. Learned how to be a DBA for Oracle. Learned about SQL Server databases, and I started getting into web technologies. The first scripting language I ever learned, web scripting, was Cold Fusion. Some of you may remember, like, the CF loop and CF query. I thought that was, yeah. So I thought that was really cool, and I also learned classic ASP. Right before I got out of the Marine Corps is when the .NET framework kind of came out, and we started getting to .NET. I favored C# a little bit more than VB.NET, and started building applications for the Marine Corps on those technologies. I got out right when Bush landed on the aircraft carrier and said the war in Iraq was over. I got to go home. I was building and maintaining all these databases out there in the field for logistics command. So we imported everything into web-based technologies from their old mainframes, for this logistics command for the Marine Corps, from anything from tanks to toothbrushes, we stored in this massive system. I got out of the Marine Corps. I got a job at a law firm in New Jersey. We specialized in insurance fraud, and our biggest client was Allstate. And I wrote a lot of code and built a lot of databases to track people, how they're connected. And these weren't just people that were faking a back injury to get some insurance claims. These are people, a lot were organized crime in New Jersey that were creating these massive scams and fleecing Allstate out of some of these people hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and Allstate was only 20% of the market. I used to joke around, if the computer stuff didn't work out for me, I was going to open up a couple of chiropractic facilities. So right around the time I was working on a case with the FBI and I started thinking to myself, like, some of these people aren't going to like me identifying this fraud. And I had a buddy of mine that I was in the Marines with, and we started this company, Web Dev Studios, unofficially just doing freelance stuff on the side when we were still in the Marine Corps. And we decided to go on it full time. So he flew out to New Jersey, and we kind of started up this company from my dining room. And we had, very humble beginnings. We were, at the time, we kind of converted off of the .NET stuff and Microsoft-based technologies, and we started really getting into open source, PHP-based open source projects like Drupal, Joomla, WordPress, Magento. At the time, we were actually doing more Drupal than WordPress, but some of you that are very familiar with WordPress know that when WordPress came out with 3.0, they introduced custom post types and taxonomies. And that's what, I feel really turned WordPress into competitive CMS, content management system like Drupal. So we started building all sorts of cool stuff with WordPress and became like a WordPress only development shop. We got into AppPresser we did a project for the New York City Department of Education where we built this badging system back when, gamification was pretty hot. And we built this whole system so the students could log in and they could learn digital literacy and take all these different quizzes and get points. And those points add up to be on the leaderboard, and they get different prizes and stuff for these points. So it was this really cool gamification system set of plugins for WordPress. It's still out there if anybody's interested in it. It's called Badge OS. if you go to badgeos.org. So anyways, so our client that we built this system for these high schools in New York City, they got a job or a potential project with the YMCAs in New York City. And the YMCAs were very interested in this badging system that we created. And we were kind of caught up in a dilemma because we were a WordPress development shop that built this really cool badging system for WordPress.
Yeah.
But the YMCAs, they wanted to have a badging system on an iPad kiosk in each of the Ys, where someone like a member of the Y would walk up and they would scan their ID card, the barcode on the iPad, and it would log them into the system, into their account, and they could take all these different challenges, like the weightlifting challenge, the Michael Phelps swimming challenge, whatever. And we didn't want to have to rebuild, reinvent the wheel there and have to rewrite all this code as a native iOS app. So we decided to make a hybrid app where the only part of that app that was really native was the actual logging in part, where it would scan the barcode on the camera, it would line up in the database with the ID that matched up with the WordPress user ID, and it would automatically log them in. And we developed basically a headless WordPress theme that was made to look and function like a native iOS app.
And that was the very first one.
That was kind of the beginning of AppPresser. After that, we did another project with the Dallas Museum of Art, the same type of thing. And then after that, we met our my business partner now, Scott Bollinger, and he was really into the idea. And we had always talked about, like, let's build a framework that would allow anybody that knows how to do cool stuff with WordPress to be able to easily build mobile apps. And that's where AppPresser was born.
That's great. And great introduction on that too, by the way. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We've got a quick commercial break coming up. When we get back, let's dig into then what types of apps can be built. You've given us a couple little ideas. Let's dig deep into that, just to kind of get the listeners' minds around this a little bit more, to kind of get some ideas flowing. And let's do that. So now I'm here with Brian Messenlerner, co-founder of AppPresser.com. And after a quick break, we'll talk about exactly that, the types of apps that can be developed, and a ton more right after the break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
Are you looking for the best in WordPress speed, security, and scalability? WP Engine is a digital experience platform for WordPress, powering digital experiences for large brands around the world. With easy-to-use site management tools and powerful do-it-your-way development features, WP Engine gives you the flexibility to build it your way. Improve your SEO and conversion rates with a faster site on WP Engine. Learn more on WPEngine.com.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve, as they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Podcasting at the speed of sound. WebmasterRadio.fm, the flamethrower. WebmasterRadio.fm, we're everywhere.
Time now to hear some more affiliate buzz on WebmasterRadio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Brian Messenlerner, co-founder of AppPresser.com, and we're talking about how to turn your WordPress website into a mobile app. Now let's dig in, Brian. Let's talk about. I'm on your site, AppPresser.com, and I'm under your page called Examples, and I see quite a number of examples here. Art of Manliness. Let's go through maybe tell us about a few of them that are on the page, and talk about some of the things that can be done with AppPresser.
Sure. So a lot of people, use AppPresser as kind of to build an app to complement their website, and you could easily do that. And like the Art of Manliness is one that was started off as a website blog, right? There's also another one on there called Life of Dad. Those are two good examples of traditional WordPress blogs that they wanted to create more doorways to their content. They wanted a mobile app, they wanted an iOS and an Android app. So using AppPresser, they were able to easily do that and cost effectively do that. One of the beauties of AppPresser is that it actually uses WordPress, as a data source. So anytime that you make an update on your website, it's going to make that same update for you on your app, both for iOS and Android. If anybody's ever had to go get quotes on building a custom iOS and Android app, they would know that and they want all their content to be the same across both iOS and Android and the website. A lot of the costs incurs with those projects trying to sync the data, and because we're using WordPress as a data source, it eliminates those costs. So those two there's some other good ones on there, but I would say the majority of people that use AppPresser do so to build apps to complement their website. Now, that being said, that's displaying, blog content, content from different custom post types. And then, basically, pretty much any good WordPress plugin that you use would be compatible out of the box. You may need to do some styling issues and stuff like that, but that's what's great about AppPresser is that, any of the functionality that you put into WordPress via third-party plugin could be brought out into the mobile app. So the other side of it, the other cool side of what you could build with AppPresser is all the native stuff, all the native features that are included in the device that you're on, the mobile device. You could use the accelerometer, the GPS. You could get push notifications. Anything. You could have access to the camera, to the video, to your contacts. You can create a barcode scanner. Pretty much anything under the sun that you would have availability to use as native functionality in your app, you could access with AppPresser. So the way that AppPresser actually works is if it uses a open source framework called PhoneGap. The service, I think Adobe owns it. But basically, if you think of WordPress as open source for building websites, think of PhoneGap as open source for building iOS and Android apps. And all AppPresser and the AppPresser plugins are really just a bridge between WordPress and PhoneGap. And so PhoneGap has, all these native features that are controlled with JavaScript. So there's JavaScript commands to basically, enable the camera or give me the GPS coordinates of the device right now, or, access the contacts. So what we're doing with AppPresser is just manipulating that JavaScript, setting in whatever commands that we want to access the native features. So really, you could build with AppPresser, you could build pretty much any type of native mobile app or native hybrid web-based app.
Tell me now, how much technical and what type of technical skills do you need to use AppPresser? Right? Because I do notice you obviously offer it for the do-it-yourselfers, but you also offer a done-for-you service. But let's talk about the do-it-yourselfers. What do we need to know in order to take advantage of AppPresser?
You just need to really know WordPress, and you need to know a little bit Ionic framework, which is like the mobile theming solution that we leverage, and a little bit about PhoneGap. So you need to be somewhat technical. Also, when you're submitting your apps to the app stores, it can be kind of a pain in the butt. So, we offer videos and stuff like that, and there's plenty of videos, besides us online, YouTube that show people how to submit their apps to the app stores. But you do need to be a fairly technical person. In fact, with our AppPresser app builder, our online UI for building the app, you really don't have to be that technical. It's kind of just like, if you know how to customize your theme in WordPress, you could pretty much build your app. And it's funny because it actually takes less time to put your app together than it would to actually submit it to the App Store, which is usually, the other way around. So for the do-it-yourselfers, it is a little technical. But we also, if you could definitely get a head start using our app builder, and we allow any of our users to download the code, the files. So if you build the app through our builder, you could download the files, and then you could take the app to the next level by adding your own custom stuff if you wanted to.
I would imagine too. You probably heard at the top of the show that I'm promoting my new outsourcing course, and many of my listeners already been through it, and they're very proficient at outsourcing through Upwork. And there's a talent pool online these days that is just amazing to be able to tap into. And I would think that if they were to get started and get stuck at all, they could easily put somebody to work at Upwork for pennies on the dollar to help them sort anything out.
Definitely. What are you using an LMS with WordPress for your courses?
Yes.
Are you using LearnDash?
Actually, I don't do too much of the stuff myself. I pretty much outsource everything these days.
Oh, okay, because we're working on a plugin with integration with LearnDash to allow all the courses, all the LMS courses within the app. At an easy integration that wouldn't take much to get set up, which might be something you might be interested in.
Sure. Sorry, I thought you were talking a programming language. No, I'm very familiar with them. No, that's good. That's very good. Tell me about on the website. You'd mentioned this is kind of on a sidebar, but I do know, of course, affiliates are always looking for revenue generation ideas. They're an entrepreneurial bunch, as am I. You'd mentioned how to increase revenue by selling apps to your clients. How does that work with AppPresser? Of course, we understand how to put them together, at least a basic overview. What's the program work as far as selling apps to clients using AppPresser?
So, everybody has a website, but not everybody has an app. So we found that to be, back when I was working at Web Dev Studios, it's an agency, right? We were in the business of building websites. So once we build a website, it was kind of an easy sell to say, hey, get a mobile app to complement your website. It's more doorways into your content. It's a whole, another audience and, of people that are using the apps on their mobile devices. And, even if you were just to use it for the push notifications alone, every time you send out a new piece of content, boom, people are getting a push notification directly on their device. That's the best way to send whatever you want to them. So we found that it was an easy upsell to really sell apps to our clients that we were building websites for.
I do notice as well that push notifications, as you mentioned there, that's really coming on strong. Maybe for those who are not too familiar with it, explain what it is.
So push notifications is, I'm sure anybody that has a mobile device and is on, say, Facebook or Instagram, when somebody likes one of their photos, they get an update on their phone directly from Facebook or Instagram saying, hey, so-and-so liked your photo. And then when they click on it, it'll open up the app and take them directly to that photo. That's just an example of a push notification sent from Facebook or Instagram. So if you were to utilize push notifications in your own app, you could send out a push notification to any of the users that have your app installed on their device, and you could make that push notification be whatever you want. Say you had your own social networking app, which you've built with AppPresser. By the way, we have a plugin called AppBuddy, which integrates with BuddyPress. Some of you may know that's a WordPress plugin for creating a social network out of the box. So say you have a BuddyPress app set up, and you have like this social network app, and you have a friend request that comes in. Well, you would get a push notification saying so-and-so from your app, sent you a friend request. And when you click on it, it would take you directly, into the app and to the page where you would be able to approve or deny that friend request. But that's just another example. I mean, really, push notifications can be used for whatever you want. If you posted a new blog post, you could have it automatically send out a push notification to anybody that has your app installed on their device that would get a link to that new blog post.
That's terrific.
There's also segmented push notifications as well. So if you didn't want to just do all or nothing, you could segment push notifications to send to specific people, specific groups of people. However you want to really split those up.
In this era of developing an audience, there's no end to it. I mean, of course, we started with email in the early days, and it's just branched out more and more and more and more from there. And I think probably push notification is definitely the hottest thing going on right now, and probably going to be for a long time, because it does bypass everything and it puts it right in front of them. And especially when it comes to a mobile device, there's no missing the message. They have to either act on it or close it. And it's definitely kind of reminds me of the old days of door hangers when we used to do marketing 25 years ago. I used to love to have our team put door hangers on people's doors with the marketing message, because I knew guaranteed at least it was going to get into their hand. And this sounds very, very similar to that. So, hey, let's do this. I see we're up against another break. Now I'm here again with Brian Messenlerner, co-founder of AppPresser.com, and we'll be right back after a real quick break.
More Affiliate Buzz coming up after we hear from our sponsors.
What is us?
Us is a foundation.
Us is the future.
Us is a bond.
But right now, that bond is fraying,
and we need a place that could make it whole.
From diabetes prevention to safety around water.
The why fills the gaps
and bridges our divides.
But they can't do it without us.
Donate today.
Because where there's a why, there's an us.
Read by members of the Y.
The Y, for a better us.
Do you look at the task of ranking your site at the top of the search engines like you would climbing the top of Mount Everest? It doesn't have to be. TopSEOs.com knows how hard that climb can be, and they can make top ranking a reality. Top SEOs sends you to only the right search vendors and agencies that they know will work for you. Since 2002, TopSEOs.com has reviewed and researched the best search engine marketing agencies and solutions providers. Don't risk the cost of falling off the proverbial peak of search rankings. Let Top SEOs give you peace of mind. TopSEOs.com, the independent authority on search vendors.
Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo, and I want to talk to you about getting older. My body hurts, my joints ache, and sometimes I forget.
I forget that doing all your own scenes for a movie isn't always the best decision, especially when you're galloping high speed on a horse named Archibello. So yes, my body hurts, but it's not because of my age. It's because I'm living my life.
Don't let life pass you by. Take care of your brain health. It may just help you stay on top of your game.
Oh, Archibello!
Learn more at brainhealth.gov.
Webmasterradio.fm. We're everywhere. Find our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere you download your podcasts. Pick out some new favorite podcasts now.
Time now to hear some more Affiliate Buzz on webmasterradio.fm. Here's James and Arlene.
Arlene is away today. However, I'm here with Brian Messenlerner, co-founder of AppPresser.com. Now, Brian, we're down to the last couple minutes. Do us a favor, tell our listeners where and how they can get started with AppPresser.
Sure. If you go to AppPresser.com, you could, kind of look over all the information about what AppPresser is and how it works. And if you're interested in moving forward with it, you could click on the pricing page, and you could see our different kind of packages there. And you could sign up, kind of a single app user, or if you're an agency and you want multiple apps, you could go that route as well. And once you sign up, you'll receive account information via email, and you'll gain access to your account on myAppPresser.com, which is where we have our hosted app builder. And once you gain access to that, you could start actually, building your app. And we have a nice little slick UI and an app previewer, so you can kind of see what your app's going to look like. Without the trouble of going through and creating an Apple developer account, which you would need to do eventually to get the app launched into the app stores, you could basically, so you need that to be able to test out the app on your iPhone. With Android, you could just you could download and install the APK file and get running with the app right away. But with Apple, it's a little bit more complicated, and you need to have that developer account. So we made an app preview app where you go and it's called AppPresser App Previewer. So if you install that app on your device, on your iOS device, then you could go and you could actually log in with your My AppPresser account, and you could preview what your app will look like in your device. We thought, the previewer on the website is really cool and everything, but there's nothing like testing out your app in your device, in your hand. So that's why we have the preview app for that.
That's great. So again, that's AppPresser.com, AppPresser.com. Brian, I can see we're out of time. Hey, I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, keep in mind that if there's anything that Brian mentioned here today that you missed and that you'd like to review, we do take all the show notes for you, and you can find them for this particular episode at jamesmartell.com/AB486. And a final reminder that if you'd like to be alerted each week to new episodes, and I hope you do, I invite you to subscribe to the Affiliate Buzz by sending a blank email to affiliate_buzz@aweber.com. Brian, thanks again. And to our listeners, thanks for listening to another edition of the Affiliate Buzz.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of WebmasterRadio.fm's management or sponsors. Any rebroadcast or redistribution without authorized consent of WebmasterRadio.fm is prohibited.